I don't know if the aims of the current administration are that we just should not do any sort of academic research anymore, because this list was leaked by a program officer allegedly at the National Science Foundation, and I want you to take a good look at some of these words because they're frankly concerning. Now, to give you some context, the National Science Foundation, similar to the National Institutes of Health, have a review process to decide what grants by academic researchers should receive funding. Now, a lot of these grants, since the current administration has been instilled, have been flagged. And essentially, a program officer compiled the keywords of all of the grants that were flagged and leaked it to a couple of university professors. This particular post was from a professor at USC. Now, I don't know if they're doing a control F on all of these keywords and just finding the grants and proposals that have the keywords in them. However, if they're doing something like that, the words biased and the words inclusion, that is a big red flag for me. If you're doing any sort of rigorous qualitative or quantitative academic study, one of the things that you need to do is to describe the empirical methods with which you use, the regressions that you use, the equations that you come up with. And a lot of describing the rigor of that empirical method is describing the potential biases. Statistical bias is always a concern for academic researchers, namely because we're trying to make assumptions about the entire population of a sample when we only have the sample to analyze. And so if studies are being flagged for using the word biased or using the word inclusion, that means that almost every single academic study is going to get flagged, guaranteed. Someone who writes economics and public health papers, there's no way I would write a study without using that word because it's part of the lingo. The other thing I want to draw your attention to is the fact that the word women is coming up as one of the flags. Notice how the word men is not coming up as one of the flags. Interesting, right? And I was joking with my friend Clayton about this. I'll put his handle down below. But is this going to lead to almost the TikTokification censoring of grants? Because if I use the word women, I might get flagged. But if I say non-man Americans, would that get my study flagged? And I don't know if the people at the National Science Foundation are searching for these words within the grants with a control, like a control F, or if they're actually reading through the grant proposals. But it's clear from this list of words what the aims of the administration are in terms of academic research. Another thing I want to note is that when we're doing economic studies on individuals and studying groups of people as a population, we tend to stratify among a set list of things, if that is available in the data. We tend to stratify based on race. We tend to stratify based on gender. We tend to stratify on ethnicity, namely Hispanic.